Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hope everyone's doing well. It is Wednesday, August the 13th. It's the midweek point, or hump day, as they say, provided, of course, you work Monday to Friday. And I saw this morning that Daniel Dubois has made some changes to his team. Now, I should probably rephrase that. Some changes have been made to Team Dubois. I'm not sure, and the record isn't clear, how much Daniel Dubois was driving those changes. Is he even aware of those changes? That's for you guys to decide. But let's say this. There have been changes made to Team Dubois. Now, the first change was Kieran Farrell, who announced that he is no longer part of the training team. Now, again, just one guy's opinion, I think that Kieran Farrell, the former professional boxer himself, lightweight, was probably the very best part of Team Dubois' training team. Certainly, I would view him as being far, far superior to the bitterest man in boxing, Don Charles, who is the head trainer or head coach. No news on the bitterest man in boxing. Is he sticking around or not? I would imagine it would be worth a flutter if there were odds available on him getting a size 17 boot in his size 55 ass. But anyhow, that's a video for another day. But Kieran Farrell leaving, I think, will be a loss to the training team. The other change is the addition in some sort of managerial capacity, maybe co-manager, not quite sure, of Sam Jones, who I've always thought of Sam Jones as being the pound shop version of an Eddie Hearn, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyhow, I'm sure that he has a following somewhere. Sam Jones, of course, has encountered Daniel Dubois previously. Sam Jones, who was the manager of Joe Joyce around the time of that ridiculous story that Joe Joyce's skull was naturally thicker than the ordinary human skull, and that he could take blows that an ordinary man would be felled by. Yes, that's Sam Jones, the purveyor of such astronomically potent BS that he really should take a job in politics. Gosh, I really hope not. It's the last thing we need. But anyhow, Sam Jones is now in some managerial capacity. He was being interviewed by, I think it was Kugan Cassius, and he didn't have a lot to say, other than he said that he had spoken with Stan Dubois, or Dave Dubois, depending upon the day of the week, I suppose. And it appears that Stan Dubois was the driving force behind the engagement of Sam Jones. There was no mention, really, of young Daniel, who I believe was last seen in some exotic climb with a plethora of very attractive young ladies. Clearly, he's found he's found his man strength, as Peter Fury would say. Anyhow, Sam Jones, like I say, didn't really want to answer any questions about where Daniel Dubois would go, except that all heavyweights were in his radar. He didn't seem to embrace the idea of a warm-up fight, and he was opaque as to whether or not Daniel Dubois would be entering the ring again this year. It was sort of like a lot of maybe, yes, could be. But what was key was that he repeated a number of times that there were meetings next week. So, you know, what's that, like the week of the 19th, 20th, something like that, with George Warren and Frank Warren. And then they were going to map out Daniel Dubois' future. I would expect, we won't know unless you're a fly on the wall, I would expect that when Stan Dubois or Dave Dubois, Sam Jones, possibly the bitterest man in boxing, when they sit down with George Warren and Frank Warren, that they would be doing more listening than talking. Something in my tummy tells me that Frank Warren will be doing a lot of shoulder rolling and speaking very clearly, very plainly, possibly in more Anglo-Saxon words of the English language than would be fit for a broadcast like this. Anyhow, like I say, we won't know. Sam Jones was asked, did he think there would be other changes to the team? And he danced on a pinhead around that. Lots of, oh, well, we got to have to meet with Frank Warren, George Warren, blah, 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 blah. Like I say, hot tip. I wouldn't be opposed to putting a $5 bet on the bitterest man in boxing getting a pink slip. But hey, that's possibly just wishful thinking, really, isn't it? But yes, I would expect there to be another change, and then we will probably get some sort of plan as to what Daniel Dubois is going to do. Part of me thinks that Daniel Dubois may not really be keen on coming back. I mean, he made £71 million, and that wasn't his first pound either. He's undoubtedly a very, very rich young man now. And I mean, were it me, I would never see a boxing ring again if I'd had 10% of that money. But, you know, again, I'm sure that Daniel Dubois isn't really the driving force behind his own career. There was some talk about, you know, names. And again, Sam Jones said basically everybody in the heavyweight division. Sam Jones also said that Daniel Dubois is a threat to anybody in the heavyweight division, which I suppose is not entirely untrue, other than Olexander Usyk, who I think we can sort of, you know, leave him to the side. I don't see Daniel Dubois in any number of fights being able to beat Olexander Usyk. Who would you like to see Daniel Dubois fight if he comes back? Would you like to see a rematch with Anthony Joshua? As Sam Jones said, there is a stain on Anthony Joshua's record now that Anthony Joshua would probably like to erase. Would you like to see Daniel Dubois have that much anticipated fight with Joe Parker? That could be interesting. Who else would you like to see Daniel Dubois fight? Let me know in the comments section. And as for the loss of Kieran Farrell, I really do think that's a loss. As to the addition of Sam Jones, I'm sure Sam Jones is very happy that Sam Jones is clearly going to make lots of money out of this relationship with Daniel Dubois. And who do you think is going to be the head coach? Is Don Charles going to stick around? Is he going to cling to his job? Or is Don Charles going to be asked to leave? Let me know in the comments section. Okay, that's all I've got for the moment. Have a fabulous day wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you've subscribed, particularly recent subscribers, welcome aboard. Great to have you on board. Look forward to reading comments in the comment sections. And if you like this video, maybe give that thumbs up thing a like. Because apparently those things are counted in some sort of engagement algorithm. Though my knowledge of how YouTube works is not worth speaking about. Okay, folks, thanks so much for watching. See you on the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.